Heroes and Legends. Reborn 2. Clincalow emerges victorious. During the chromatic turn and shift and break of the heroine powers, the Techdoron went a slaughtering many in the Cape and the Carlians and the composition. They were no more. Susie Nibum had transformed herself into a giant Techdoron goddess, having Strutter alive, slain and massacred, cut a slice in two, and Plus Yellow alive, gripped within her hands, squeezing him to death, and slashing away the peasant people and the entire people as he watched in horror, and then she squished him to death. With this, the scene arose at top of the Builderon, that now consisted of the four great old powers of the Scene, the Watermans, the Gamelon, and the Medonian. Seeing all these developments, the Techdoron's new officers, Gibbon and Pro Element, who were relatives of the dimensions, but had not strike out because they were dissatisfied with the dimensions, now saw that Techdorons were on the verge of conquering everything, so they decided to act. For her part, Betty Clincalow enlisted Techdoron troops that she had under her employ and led them to these two, which they did. Greatly except with this, they were finally able to have a sizable army to take the dimensions. At Trésor Rose's personal headquarters and house, she was stunned. Gibbon and Pro Element, they were people that ran away from the war. Now they turned inside with Clincalow, a sleeper cell, she said. So her and Neville had to defend the lands, which they hold there, with their troops. While this was going on, placed there 50 forces had arrived. Millen, during this time, during the failed invasions of the Lagoon to this point, was seeing plus 50 as they were slowly but surely dating. She found happiness in him and saw him there in the battlefield. She was pleased that she had backup, but suddenly, place of 50 turned and said he, being Techdoron, had found his place. And he said, "I will spare you, my lady, but surrender us quietly, and then nothing wrong would happen to you." She was heartbroken and stunned. 50. Why? You betray me. No. You cur. We in the dimensions will never surrender. Not to Techdoron scum, who sided with the devil himself. Plus 50 said, I guess this means we're through then. No matter. Gibbon, Parliament, don't let me regret this decision. And so the two gleefully and said, "Send a call for reinforcements. We let the entire Techdoron Armada take their dimensions hold. Once the dimensions are taken, the Techdoron Empire will be secure and assured." So the race was on to stop those messengers, to block that signal, to reaching the likes of Warren, Rom, Android 4424, or worse, Susie or Duke Inman. So after defeating the guards and the messengers, Rose was able to bolster her forces and her might to beat back the Techdorons that were threatening her personal castle in the Dimensions. But the failed assassination attempt of Trésor Rose failed. Place star 50. Gibbon and Pro Element retreated. Rose then comforted Neville, who said as well that she'll never love again after this devastating betrayal Rose comforted and said there'll be opportunities in the future. But for now, let us not worry about such things. We must strengthen our defenses. It won't be long until the Techdorons come back, or even worse. I don't know about our arrangement with the Lagoons, but things are as bad as they seem. And Techdoron are striking out. Then I don't think there's much future in serving the Lagoons either. Both of them looked then at the skies as the sun was beginning to set on this old day. A new day was approaching. The day and age of Betty Clincalow was at hand. After such battle, the Medonians were now under control of the Kitrurew. They were preparing for a frontal assault and a takedown and takeover of the Lagoon to put an end to the war once and for all. However, the Lagoons held to the fence. So it was the allies that were in the front line. Brett Hilton and Nima's forces defended the Milky Way as they lost the smaller galaxies that surrounded it. They were the front defense. Leading the Medonians failed first attack was Leona, the wife of Anthony Starkey. With this defeat, it was tasked by the demons to put an end to their forces once and for all. So it was Mer and Gambler Fox who were now in charge. So they sent their forces in a demon horde to fight against Britt Hilton's forces and Nima. After getting successfully getting past them, they were beaten back so badly, so severely, that they were told to leave their homeworlds and the nebulas and space and flee the dimensions, or else their planets will be destroyed, just like the countless others in the Builderon and the former Chaldean galaxy and composition. Praying for the safety of their people, the officers, the troops, and the generals of the said armies retreated to the dimensions, defeated. With this, the pathway to the lagoons was near. Seeing the end, and seeing that the Closetru would not be spared such luck, the Council of Six decided that now was the time to surrender. They surrendered to the Clincalow without no contest. Gashel was stunned. Her allies were now exiled. The Closetru gave up like cowards, and the dimensional forces were just invaded by the Techdorons, too weak to do anything. The Lagoon's hopes and dreams of domination were now flaming in smoke. However, they were determined to fight to the last man and woman. Elsewhere, Sumé was leading an army of the Gementa with General Colin Daniels, T. Sherman, Golden S, and Buster. Their task was to fully divide the Banquron clans of the Commonwealthans, the Fidelians, and the Scotia, and the Baja away from the royals. This battle was very important. This battle will ensure that the Banquron galaxies and powers will no longer be united ever again. This was an important battle to prepare for Betty's final dance with the royals and Gemini. Since now the Techdorons had taken the Builderon and separated Banquron from the former space of Sudimatria, it was prime opportunity to cut down the Banquron one by one. So Sumé displayed her skills and might, along with the Gemeta that were determined to make names for themselves in this new empire. The first, they defeated the Fidelians and overcame the Phoenix, Phaedrus, and his forces. Then they moved to the Scotia and ended them quickly. And then they moved to the Baja and the Commonwealth forces. Prophet Elam had saw the end of an age, an end of cooperative teamwork and alliances, the end of the Sudimatria name, and so many others. He said nothing, because he could not alter what was to come. Many wars and rumors of wars and suffering had to occur before the end time. The clock was winding down, and so the Baha decided to close their gates to the other Banquron. With this, Sumé emerged victorious, and she was determined more than ever to prove her might. The Gemata proved themselves as well, and beaten the Banquron. Great reward in pride and dignity they felt. Now it was up. The Prince of Darkness was encouraged by Betty to call himself a king. Why was he continuing to call himself a prince? If they want to put their plans in fruition and inherit the body of Calvon Clincalow Jr., then he will have to be a king so she could be a queen and rule the universe. One empire ruling two other mighty kingdoms. That was his legacy. And so the Prince of Darkness became self-proclaimed himself to be the King of Darkness. And with this, Betty and now the newly named King of Darkness and their main forces marched to Royal, where the main Sudimatrian officers and royal officers and troops were located. The final showdown to end Gemini and the Sudimatrian bloodline once and for all. During this time, the Techdorons and the Xima control builder ran rampant throughout the lands and the galaxies of the Baha and the Jedi and the Chaldeans. The Scholastic led by Yui showed a brave face to try to reach their lady that was increasingly being surrounded by the enemy. But the Techdorons' fearsome power was no match. Fearsome power was overwhelming, and the Scholastica and all others had no choice but to retreat to the former galaxies. The universe and the galaxies were being transformed and moved around as time went on. The end was near. As Colin Mer and Gambler Fox, along with Marco, Wendy Wynn, Johns, and the Alva clan M.M. Fry, and Prenar of the Bushshore, and Med L, and Clef L, and Muse Cros were there, right? They all collaborated together to bring an end to the Lagoons. This was going to be Prenar of the Medonian Bushshore's task to eradicate the Lagoons once and for all. The Lagoons, Kasha Lagoon, Stanya Lagoon, Beck Lagoon, Valentina Yamacraw, and the forces of Earth were the last bastions of hope for the Lagoon. Prenar, along with the demon forces and the Medonian forces and the Kitrurew forces, fought bravely and overwhelmed the Earth forces. Stanya, Beck, Cashel put up a brave and magnificent fight. This was the type of fight that Prenar always wanted, although he was unsatisfied with the side he was working for. This was the fight he was waiting on. He trained for many years to build up strength to face strong opponents, and nothing stronger than an opponent that is backed into a corner. However, the determination of the Lagoon family from the dawn of the single planet to fight against the LaFleur Primes and the countless encounters in the legendary fighters to successfully forming their own empire was on the verge of conquering the universe had fallen to the combined might of the Medonian, Kitrurew, and demon forces. With this, the free feminine kingdoms were over, and now all that left that stood in Betty Clincalow's way and the King of Darkness's way was Gemini and the Royal Sumatra, who was determined more than ever, along with Susan and Wilson Aqua and Smart and Reborns, whatever troops that they could possibly get against Betty. Betty and the Prince of Darkness worked together in their capacity to overcome the threats that was the Royals. Gemini used her magic to try to beat back Betty and hopefully undo the ritual which Prince of Darkness did to revive Betty. But Betty had been alive too long and was now settled. This would not work. And so Gemini was like, if so much was going to go down with me, then I will take down the Prince of Darkness and end the Clincalow bloodlines at the same time. All units charge. Her determination gave great hope to the royals, but at this time the Sumatrans were defeated, and her allies, Smart and Reborn, were defeated. Susie and Wilson were captured by the enemy, and the King of Darkness and Betty worked together to slay Gemini Road. The last of the Sumatran bloodline was over. After receiving the victory, there was a big dance party as she danced with the king. After that, message had appeared that the Allied forces had successfully conquered and defeated the Lagoons and forced those of our allies trapped within the dimensions, banished, never to return. With this, the universe was theirs, and the Techdoron Empire now cut away of what is left of the Sumatran allies. Betty declared victory. The King of Darkness and Betty moved back to Clincalow soon after their celebration to perform the ritual to bring Calvin Clincalow Jr. back to life, for the Prince of Darkness to inherit his body and become a new super being in this eternal darkness for all eternity. This was exactly what Xima and Ghost were waiting for. Soon the ceremony will begin, and soon, very soon, a 50-50 chance of their Lord's Monica and Assure Monica might return and block the path for this Clincalow.